How you feeling? You got John Riggs here looking at the games from American Sammy for the Nintendo Entertainment System. They only had 10 games according to NESguide.com. We're going to rank and review them along the way. That video starts right now. Amagon is one of the most conflicting games I've heard other people talk about for the NES. Some people say it's too easy. Some people say it's too hard. Some people say it's too weird. Some people compare it to a lot of other games. It's alright. It's not so much of a gripe. But one of the things with this game and me is if you hold the A button down, you will constantly jump. Like as soon as you land, you'll jump again. So you can just hold the A and you're just constantly jumping. Not that it's a huge deal because you can just let go of the jump button, of course. But I don't know, it just for some reason that's kind of weird for me. I just need to hit that button once for jump and I want to be able to control that. So you're in the jungle and you're going through and you're shooting the other enemies and you have a finite amount of bullets. However, you find bullets all the time, so it's no big deal. The jumping, you jump quick in this game. That's the other thing, going back to the jumping. Like when you lift off the ground to when you land on the ground, it's like a snap, I don't know. Like when you play this game, feel how it jumps. And like you don't really float or anything like that. You just gotta use, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's its own thing, which is, hey, that's something unique. Anyway, you make your way through, you're shooting the other enemies, and then every once in a while, this kind of weird thing happens where you get really big, and now you're playing as the super muscle guy, which is good news for you, because without this, it's a one-hit kill. This game's one of those one-hit kill games when you're just regular, scrawny yourself. When you get this guy, you're throwing uppercuts instead of shooting, which is kind of fun, actually. Then you actually have a couple of hits before you turn back into your old self, and then of course, once you're there, then it's back to one-hit kill. I'll at least give this game a B. It's worth checking out. Arkista's Ring is one of those interesting ones too. Maybe you saw this on the rental shelf once upon a time. It's one of those games, I don't know anyone who ever bought it new, but it would show up every once in a while as, you know, maybe the game that was gifted to someone, or just kind of appears out of nowhere. But again, I saw it on a rental shelf, but I never knew anyone who had this game growing up. And it's actually not so bad of a game. I mean, you go around, it reminds me a little bit like Game Ground for the Sega Genesis, where it has a top view and Game Ground's a terrible example because it's not at all like Game Ground. It reminds me of that for some reason. Maybe a little bit more like Gauntlet, who knows? But you're in that top view, you gotta shoot the other enemies, and then a key might appear, you get the key and you go through the door, you go on to the next stage. And that's kind of this game in a nutshell. It's all right, I'll give this game a C. Michael Andretti's World GP. This game, it's a racing game, has that little, you know, it's World GP. What gets me with this game, and not even so much of the racing element of it all, that's okay, I can take that, I guess. It's to turn the corners when you're controlling your vehicle. Not only do you have to just hold the button, and then your up button switches gear. Again, I don't mind that at all either. That's fine by me. If you have to drive a manual, and you have to push up to change your gears to go a certain speed, and you have to do that because you have to like drop it down gears to turn corners easier and stuff like that. What gets me the most about this game is you can't just hold left or hold right to turn left or to turn right. You have to keep tapping the button like, you know, like right, left, left. And that's your controlling. That's how you turn the car. It's like you turn it by notch on the tire. You can't just hold it to turn it all the way. You have to do it notch by notch. And that reason alone gives this game an F. Because of that, I can barely play this game and I won't even bother. American Sammy had a Might and Magic game for the NES, and this one actually controls pretty well too. If you're not familiar with the Might and Magic series, this one's okay. It's a kind of a dungeon crawler, It's a dungeon crawler, let's call it what it is. And it has the RPG element of, I like how the walls actually scroll when you're walking, so it's not just like frame by frame by frame. A little bit of something special for the visuals all the same. You run into enemies every once in a while, you can fight them, you can click auto, which will, you know, kind of help you make decisions better, I guess, depending on what the situation is. You can bribe the enemies. How wonderful of an idea this is. It's like, hey, instead of fighting, I'm not gonna run away, I'm not gonna fight you, but do you accept these jewels, this gold, these items or whatever, in lieu of fighting? What a wonderful idea. That's totally what I would do in real life. It's a neat game, and I want to give this game a B. I think it's pretty fun. I think it's fun to check out. And speaking of Might and Magic, might you hit that subscribe button, please? I ask that because more than half of the people who watch my channel aren't even subscribed yet. It's a huge favor for me, and it shows that you like watching videos like this. So if you dig this style of video and the other videos I do on my channel, hit subscribe. There's always something new coming up. You got your Ninja Crusaders for the NES, and this is one of those games that not a lot of people talk about. Kind of flies under the radar a lot of times. You got your Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3, and this game gotta be heavily inspired by Ninja Gaiden, and why not? What a wonderful game that series is. So let's make Ninja Crusaders. 2 players simultaneous on this game. That already gets bonus points already. What doesn't is one-hit kill. Man, one-hit kills are so rough, dude. But this game features a lot of items too. So you start out with your shuriken, but you can also pick up whips and chains and bow staff and stuff like that too. A lot of fun happening with this game. Again, that one-hit kill, that's pretty rough. The enemies in this game, they're robots. So it's almost like, is this game made in Europe? Or why are they robots? But hey, you know what? Fun game, difficult game because of that one-hit kill. But still, I think it's worth checking out. And 2 players simultaneous, that might help you out too. I'm gonna give this game I'll give this game a B. Silkworm, what a fun arcade shooter, now available on your NES. Now available, it's been available for like 30 years now. So in the game Silkworm, it's 2 players simultaneous. You can play as Silk or Worm, right? Well, no. You can, but it does have a cool feature where the 2 players, you can play as the helicopter or play as the Jeep. If you're playing this game on a 1 player, you get to choose which one you want to be. But if you're 2 players simultaneous, you can have 1 in the sky, 1 on the ground. The helicopter shoots and also shoots at an angle, so that's going to help you out too to defeat, ground enemies and stuff like that. Very, very cool, smooth shooter on this one. And the Jeep has a gun turret that can go forward, backward. It has a little arcing thing so you can kind of aim where you want to shoot in the sky. Also have features of jumps. You can like jump over enemies that are on the ground if you need to. Fun game, this one, and it plays very similarly to the arcade. A great shooter. I'm putting this game as an A. Thundercade, another shooter, but not as great. This one features that choppy animation, which is too bad too, because the shooter itself is actually okay. It's odd that you play as a motorcycle when you're shooting other tanks and stuff like that. Probably not the smartest idea for this guy to infiltrate enemy bases on a motorcycle, and then you can pick up your items being like your sidecar. But your sidecar can also shoot to the side, which will help you out. Or you can, shoot like, stronger bullets to really help you take out some of these tanks that are in the way. Because again, a motorcycle versus a tank, not the smartest idea in the world. But Thundercade, if you get past the choppy animation part of it, which to me is the biggest hang up, it's a decent shooter. It's actually pretty good, and it's worth checking out. And I'll put this game as a C. Twin Cobra, another fantastic shooter. We had 3 shooters in a row now, right? Twin Cobra is another fantastic shooter from American Sammy for the NES. You play as a helicopter and you shoot the enemies, and I like the fact that you get item upgrades, weapon upgrades so often in this game. Sometimes you're just struggling to get like the twin shot. You're just struggling to get something that you can shoot more than one direction or something anyway. And this game gives it to you often enough that it makes it so you're good. Twin Cobra is interesting because it was made by Taito, wasn't it? But then American Sammy released it. Well, I'm not going to get into the details about it, but American Sammy was the one who published the game for the NES. So I'll call it an American Sammy game, at least as far as the publisher goes. Twin Cobra, an excellent shooter. I'm also giving this game an A. Ultimate Basketball may be my favorite basketball game on the NES. Believe it or not, it's a basketball game I actually kind of like on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I know we have Double Dribble, I know we have Arch Rivals, but this game actually plays really well. Like, as far as basketball games go, it plays really well. And when I say that, I mean, it's easy to go up and down the court. It's easy to steal the ball from the enemies if you have to. I mean, it's not easy, but you have a better odds, I suppose. Features that kind of slam dunk cinematic, shooting the ball, passing the ball. It's all good with me, man. This game actually, I think this plays very well for an NES basketball game. I'll put this game as a C at least. Vice Project Doom could have been a lot of games individually, but they put them all together. So it starts off with this very cool kind of like Spy Hunter. If this was Spy Hunter 2, I would have been sold. I would have been all about it. If this mode here, this driving around, shooting, shooting the other enemies, going through these barricades and all that, if this was the entire game, it would have scored very well with me, because I think this part's really, really fun. And then the fact that the next level after you do this driving part is an action platformer, is one of these action games. Man, this is like icing on the cake. There's so much going on with this game. I'm all about it. Again, this game could have been split in half. It could have been like, you know, here's one game, here's the other game, and, you know, the alternating levels or whatever it is are on their own cartridge. I would have bought the game twice because, you know, the driving element with the shooting and all that's great, that Spy Hunter style, and then the action part of it kind of, you know, reminds me a little bit like a Shatterhand or something like that. That part's really, really excellent. Both games, excellent. You put them together, it's on one game. It's Vice Project Doom, and it has like the storylines and the cinematics. This game's super, super cool. I want to give this game an A. 10 games from American Sammy published for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I've covered so many other publishers for the NES and some for the Super Nintendo as well, so make sure you check out those videos, and we'll see you real soon.